if we take a marketing report, take 10 marketing reports, you will very rarely see a marketing report which has given enough focus, sufficient focus, let's say ideal focus at least, on this particular area called STP marketing, meaning segmentation, targeting, positioning. And I said ideal, it has to be ideal, because you cannot think about a marketing mix. Now that of course everybody writes in a marketing report, be it 7 P's or 4 P's, but the effect of the the 4 P's or the 7 P's of marketing is really nullified if we do not put enough emphasis on segmentation, targeting, positioning. We call it STP. Now what is it? Yes, before we identify our marketing mix, we just need to make up a proper analysis and a critical analysis of these 3 areas. Now this video is set for the purpose of identifying exactly what they mean, and I hope that the video will clarify some doubts that people may be having. So what is segmentation? Take any market you have, you can't have entire market reacting in the same way. Some of the markets could be that, right? For example, if you take sunlight, entire Sri Lanka respond to the product, because that's the go-to brand for washing clothes in Sri Lanka. But such products are very rare. Generally, different groups exist within the same market, having different preferences. Take a look at this by Munchie, the Happy International Chocolate Day thing. They didn't come up with one product, they're coming up with a whole load of product. I used to love Carlo. I'm still a big fan of chocolate puff, but there are brands that I haven't tested yet. Now, why is this? Why can't we tackle the entire market with a single product? The problem is the different groupings in the market have different tastes, different traits, different preferences, and that requires us to identify these segments. We call them the segments, these separate groups, and that is the purpose of segmentation. In our marketing report, let me go there again, I need to identify at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 would be ideal, suitable segments, maybe based on geography. For example, let's say if you look at the washing clothes, washing powder up in the north and east, because of the brackishness of the water, certain soap that we are using down south or in the central highlands of Sri Lanka are not okay. Geography. Demographics, people habits are different. Habits of the people tend to be different. And then the psychographic, our lifestyles. And finally the behavior. Now I got one example here. This is Come by Munchie. This is particularly aimed at the working out crowds, the fitness team. Not that others also can have it, but the game plan is to go for them with low in sugar, perhaps low in calories, and yes, low in salt, sugar free. See that? So this is aimed at one particular segment. And what is that segment? It's not geography, not demographics, but mostly the lifestyles and the values. That's how it goes. So the behavior. So when you prepare a marketing report, you need to allocate maybe 150 words on, maybe in 2 or 3 paragraphs on your segmentation. Identify 3 or 4 segments which you consider to be relevant on these topics. Of course, the segment should be a good enough one, big enough one, a valuable one. It should be something that you can easily reach. It should be something you can access, right? Those things of course should be there, but ideally dividing the segments along these lines would be a really good idea. And then, are we going to go after all the segments that we have identified? No, we don't. We may have 5 segments chosen, but out of that we may pick only one segment or maybe 2. That's perfectly fine. In your marketing report, it's a must that we identify a number of segments and identify the best of those segments, not all of those segments, as segments that you'll be tackling in this particular marketing plan, the campaign of yours, and make sure those segments should be big enough, relevant enough, capable enough for you to reach. You have enough capacities to go after them, and yes, they are lucrative, or that's where you have enough sufficient funding available, sufficient cash available, money wise, right? So many students make a mistake of targeting part. You identify segments, but the need to identify some of them as the target, or particular number of them as the target, is missing out. Generally the students tend to go after every segment identified. That is not a proper idea. No company can allocate resources for that sort of an effort. You have to identify 1 or 2 in your game plan towards a particular segment. Take something like Tiki Rimari. Well, for the kids, that's it, right? So Kome we discussed, maybe for the fitness crowds. Perhaps if you look at the Munchie Super Cream Cracker, very popular. It may be even popular among the older crowds as well. More sugary stuff like the chocolate cream might not be. Summer Porsche happens to be very popular among the younger crowds, among the parents, of course, right? So Chunky Choc, a cheaper, viable option. So identifying a right segment among the segments chosen is a key in targeting. So segmentation should identify a number of segments, and targeting is about selecting a few of them. So what do you do the selection on what basis? These are the examples. We cannot go for a segment if it doesn't give us an opportunity. Now take a look at them. The Christmas, they've kind of rebranded the cookie into the Christmas vibe. Might sell rather than the biscuits during the Christmas times. So is it a sufficient one? Big enough one? Yes. Sri Lanka has quite a number of populations celebrating Christmas. And can you do it better than the competition? Munchie, rolls chocolate. I don't think we have this variety even in competition from others. If there are, they would not be in the league of Munchie. So definite chance to stay above the competition. Munchie has a brand name, and the product is more visible in foreign markets, less so in Sri Lankan markets. So they are introducing the product. And then capacities we have, maybe the finance, machinery, marketing skills, sales skills, reach. Do we have the resources to go after them? And what will be the challenges we face? Something like introducing this rolls chocolate. This is not exactly very popular habit among the biscuit eating Sri Lankans. So introducing a new product might take some time. These wafer sticks. In countries like Australia, it's pretty popular, but how would it be reacting to this product, right? How do we see the reaction in our Sri Lanka? Is a question. So, and then avenues to reach it. Sri Lanka has 120,000 shops, and we know for sure that Melbourne is going after around 80,000. I'm sure that the Melbourne has that reach, and the Munchie's reach could be bigger. So maybe through the shops. How about online? I don't know how viable it is. Perhaps as hampers, maybe business to business. There are multiple avenues available, but most of the business in Sri Lanka are sold through typical retailers. That's how. So the segments that we select should have these qualities. Then we know we can make a lot of money from the selected segments. Going further, We are coming into the last one, positioning. Now again, we tend to misunderstand this topic. What is positioning? Positioning is about, alright, we know we've identified a number of segments, and we know that we are going after a particular number of those segments as specific segments. So how are we going to go after those segments? Well, positioning is not really advertising. Don't make that mistake. Positioning is about, being best of the market, being better than the competition in the eye of the consumer or in the eye of the people in that segment. Making sure that you get your product stand apart. Perhaps making it more viable, making the branding more visible, making the package more attractive, perhaps getting the pricing right? And do everything possible to get that identified segment pull itself towards a product. Now, I got one example here. Take Revelo. Revelo has a local Munchie challenge also, right? Ritzbury is there, Candace is there, and then there are foreign brands around the place. So not just one chocolate brand we have in Sri Lanka, we have multiple brands. So how can Revelo position itself among the crowd? Perhaps the packaging, the taste, visibility, availability, right? And attractiveness, solid, research on what sort of preferences this particular segment has. Now, Revelo comes up with a very thick cardboard, maybe easy to carry from place to place. Definite viable one to give as a product, as a gift, right? So Revelo outside looks better than other chocolate manufacturers' products in the market. Take Supercracker, Munchie. We have an identically similar one in Melbourne. So how can Munchie stands out? Now this is something I couldn't figure out. If you put a Melbourne cream cracker and a Munchie cream cracker, the similarities are pretty much the same. What stands apart is hard for me also to tell. Take something like Sunlight, what we talked earlier, right? How do they position themselves? Yeah, making it available, isn't it? In every shop possible, making it ready for purchase in any corner of Sri Lanka, and keeping the prices high but not overly too high, and keeping the products within reach of the average consumer. That's positioning. So now with the positioning only, marketing begins. Remember that. So the first happens segmentation, then targeting, finally positioning. Once we figured it out only, we can begin our marketing. Oh, that's what marketing is about, reaching out to the identified segment in the way that we are going to position our product there. So marketing is about making our product stand out from the rest, making our product more accessible to the others, and creating a very good customer perception about the product, and ultimately developing a branding that stays with the people. Something like this savory nuts, right, have been pretty popular. So this is identifying the segment, like the traveling crowd generally, isn't it? Party crowds maybe. Sri Lankans love spices a lot. We love, while we love sugar, we do love this also, and it's fantastic. Comes up in a package, we can share it among a larger number of people, and it's rather strong also, so it won't break while traveling. So it's a unique segment that they've identified, and yes, they're positioning it, by making it easily available, making it you can easily handle it, right? And numbers are there, big numbers are there, even for a large group of people to share. A good party snack. Marketing, yes, we do see it in online, in the digital space, newspapers, right? Various other methods Munchie is using. Remember, STP is vital before making the marketing mix. Marketing mix is the essential part of the marketing plan, but a marketing mix without STP, well, that's criminal. That's not a marketing report. It's a huge thing missing. So how do we do the segmentation, targeting, positioning? We need to research. We can't just sit on a table and make up some story in segmentation, targeting, positioning. There has to be strong research done on micro and the macro issues. We call it the situational analysis. In the SWOT and PESTEL, there should be strong research done. That strong research only will help us to identify macro, micro, internal and external factors, right? And that will be helping the market research to be done completely and analyze the data whenever we get, and then only we should come up with segmentation and targeting and positioning. No question, right? The chocolate cream is one of the most popular biscuits in Sri Lanka across various age groups, and their marketing and branding has been excellent. And they know how to position their chocolate cream, right? Among the top, better than the other players. Pricing, quality, availability, location, taste, all that. And then the marketing of it happens through various channels in the marketing mix. We discuss marketing mix later. So remember, segmentation, targeting, position is not a stopgap one, it's a continuous one. For example, recently Munchie bought Little Lion. It used to be a separate brand, now it's part of Munchie. Interesting cookies have been developing in Munchie for a while. So Little Lion is a very good brand for that, with a long name for rolls as well as this cookies. So they purchased a company, right? So how do they do that? They've done a lot of research on the preferences of the people. Benefit in cookies that it doesn't break or crack, can be transported from place A to place B, stays for a longer duration, and cash wise also not too costly, and the content is also high rather than flimsy size or shape of the chocolate. So people may like it as a little snack rather than an expensive biscuit. So understanding the consumer preferences changing. Economies are hard to come by, difficult, right? Competition is there. So identifying the product and getting the product suited to the the market. So that's what STP is all about. Think about this. Imagine you're the marketing executive for CBL, that means Ceylon Biscuits Limited. What's your plan for expanding the sales of your favorite brand of Munchie? Think in 100 words. The best way to learn is put yourself in those shoes. That will help you to kind of think in a three-dimensional way. Think about the segments. Think about the segments that you're going to go after. Think about how you're going to make your product be completely ideal for the particular segment. And yes, then how do you go after them? So that has been the lesson on segmentation, targeting, positioning, a crucial area, an area never to miss in the marketing report. No marketing mix is acceptable unless there's a segmentation, targeting, positioning. That could be 200-300 words, mind you, right? But that gives all the more advantage in the final analysis when marking the particular marketing report. This is a must. Don't miss it. Catch you in another lesson.